In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, hello everybody, how are you doing? We'll be doing great with the mercy and grace of Almighty Allah. My name's NA Saqib. I'm your artsman too, IELTS trainer. Additionally, we're also teaching the students of spoken English for the last 20 years at the platform of Genius Institute, Lahore. Dear friends, today I've decided to give you a lecture about IELTS Writing Task 2. Extremely important lecture. But in this lecture today, I'll review three things. Number one, the 5 most common IELTS Writing Task 2 question types or essay types. Number two, I'll analyze the basic journal structure of an essay. Number three, I'll give you the guidelines or the outlines of all important checklists to review your essay after finishing your essay. So let's get started. As far as the 5 most common, very popular question types are concerned for task 2, they are given now. Number one is the opinion essays, known as very popularly as agree or disagree essays. Number two, advantages or disadvantages essays. Number three, problem and solution essays. Number four, discussion essays, where you discuss both views. And last but not the least is double question essays, or known as 2-part questions. So these are the 5 basic, very popular categories of task 2 writing. Now, talking about the basic journal structure, everybody knows that an essay has got 3 main important stages, or 3 parts. Part 1 is introduction, part 2 body, and part 3 conclusion. So let's talk about a bit of introduction in the beginning. You know, the introduction opens the essay. So you've got the first impression while opening it. So you must give a wonderful first impression. But we have to see the guidelines of the authorities, of the IELTS, examiners, criterion of assessment. There are 2 basic sentences in the introduction. And, before letting you know about those 2 basic sentences of the introduction, I will tell you that the introduction of your essay somewhat depends on the type of essay you're about to write. However, normally your essay should begin with what? A background statement. And what is that? A background statement is actually rephrasing or paraphrasing the question statement. You understand how to paraphrase it? We'll have separate lectures on the introduction, the body paragraphs, and the conclusion. But now a bit of introduction of the introduction. So you've got to rephrase or paraphrase your question statement in the first sentence or in the opening sentence. And in the last sentence of your first part, that is known as introduction, the second sentence will be the thesis sentence. And what is this thesis sentence? Actually, the thesis statement demonstrate what you will be doing in your essay. So this is actually your essay plan is delivered in the thesis statement. Now, what are the popular words used in the thesis statement? Let me tell you. Number 1, analyze. 2, look at. 3, examine. 4, discuss. 5, outline. 6, consider. And 7, describe. Talking about the body paragraphs, you know that IELTS essay or essay questions typically ask you something which contains more than one opinion or argument. And you need to reflect on both sides of every argument regardless of your opinion. So you should also state the opposite point of view. It's important. You can, if you're writing, body paragraphs. For example, you have thought that you're going to give 3 body paragraphs in your essay. So what you are in favor of, you will write in the first 2 paragraphs, body paragraphs, and the 3rd body paragraph will explain your opposite opinion. So it can be justified like this. You have got to give the reasons why you do not agree with it. So you must give some logical explanation to support your arguments. And moreover, body paragraphs logically develop your key arguments. It's extremely important. You have to show in your body paragraphs what are your key arguments. And as you know that the body paragraphs would not be more than 2-3 paragraphs for your essay. Remember one thing, and that is, divide your body in paragraphs. For example, as I told you that it must not exceed 2 or 3 paragraphs. So the body of the essay should always be divided into paragraphs. So do not write just one long paragraph. It will give a very bad impression, and you may be are penalized for writing this kind of long paragraph. It is not recommended by the examiners. So you can use examples, explanations, details. You can make comparisons, and you can also make contrasts for this purpose. So you can have 2 or 3 paragraphs, as I told you early on, for the body of your essay. Now, coming to the conclusion, a little bit about conclusion now. Once you have discussed the topic at length, it needs an ending. And the ending must be very suitable and comprehensive ending. In the conclusion part, you need to summarize your points. So it's better you have a bit of training how to conclude your essay, how to make a summary of what you have written in the essay all about. For example, you would have written the introduction, then about the body paragraph. If it is possible, you would have also written the contrasting paragraph as well. So, and the conclusion. In conclusion, you have to summarize your points. Conclusion only needs a brief paragraph, preferably 3 or 4 sentences. Not more than that. Actually, the whole essay would be of 250 words, or minimum 250 words. There can be maximum 300 words, but it all depends on the size of and the writing of your essay as well. Your writing, handwriting. For example, you write very small letters, or there are medium kind of letters, or you're writing in large or capital letters. For example, your handwriting is is of the kind which actually makes you write big letters. So conclusion only needs a brief paragraph. As I told you, 3-4 sentences, not more than that. You can make it a proposal at the end of the your essay. When you're concluding everything, you can make it a proposal. You can make a prediction or a suggestion. So it will give extremely wonderful view to your essay when you will be concluding like this, and it will give you an extra band scores. For example, the examiner will be happy that you have understood the task completely, and you've concluded it in really fantastic manners. So you can make it a proposal, a prediction, or a suggestion. The concluding sentence actually should be a punching sentence. It should reflect your opinion or arguments you would have written in the body of your essay, and you should avoid repetition. This will cause a very bad impression. So instead of repeating words, you must have a large number of synonyms in your pocket. You must have remembered, and it's a kind of task that should be done before sitting for an examination. You can avoid repeating the same words as your introduction or body paragraphs have shown early on. So take advantage of the synonyms which you have listed down during planning, and in conclusion, avoid adding a new idea. So that's not a time and that's not a place to propound a new idea. You must avoid giving a new idea while concluding your essay. This is not a good idea to conclude and to give a brand new idea in the conclusion. So it will once again cast a very bad impression. Editing is important while you are concluding your essay. You should see what are the grammar mistakes you made, or maybe there are spelling mistakes. So you must see all that stuff, and you should also make sure that you have written what you planned for, and that there is no any significant points missing what you thought about during your planning. Moreover, last but not the least is the checklist. Use the checklist for an effective editing. I'm just going to introduce you about the checklist, which is really important, because it will give you an idea where and how to write or compile your best essay. So use the checklist for an effective editing. It lists points to think about when editing your essay. So this is extremely important checklist. So good to be familiar with this list so that you will know what to check for in the real-time testing. So the checklist is being given now. You should make sure that number one, you have written enough words. So it's not a good idea to count the words over there. It will be very silly, really. You must have had a bit of practice on the official sheets so that you may come to know how many words can be written in what length of time. So you must make sure that you've written enough words. Number two, use correct tenses. Yeah, grammar. Correct tenses and correct tense structures. And number three, you've added s or es to all the countable nouns used in the plural. And present tense actually is a big mistake. Lots of people know about tenses, but when it comes to writing practically, they actually commit very silly mistake of s or es, where to place it and where not to place it. So make sure that you have written all that stuff which is needed regarding the tenses, and primarily the first tense, present simple tense, or present indefinite tense. So use correct spellings, spellings, because if you have written the wrong spellings, definitely you're going to be given a penalty for your writing wrong spellings, and your very precious numbers or marks or band scores will be deducted. And number five, you make sure that you've used appropriate vocabulary, which suits the topic, and make sure that you've used a variety of connective words or key phrases. So these things are extremely important when you are making preparation. You must learn all that stuff, and you must also make sure that you've used a variety of sentence structures. It's not only the one structure or a couple of sentences you keep on repeating. You must have the multiplicity of your structural delivery. You must deliver wonderful structures. They should be of different kinds, of different types. We'll have the practical analysis of those various sentence structures in the practical and the practical applications when we'll give you the following lectures in the future. And you should also make sure that you have developed each paragraph effectively and used accurate grammatical structures, and you've used accurate collocation, collocation, combination of words which have got this suitability or really a kind of intimacy with each other. So you've used the accurate collocation, and next you've used articles and prepositions correctly, and then you developed a definite point of view, and then you've presented adequate information and examples. So my dear friends, these were very important points from the checklist, which I've talked about later at the end of the lecture today. I hope today's lecture would make a difference in your understanding of the task 2 of the IELTS writing module, and I hope you would have also learned a lot. You should write down all these important points when doing a bit of practice. They're going to help you a lot in your practical application when it comes to writing part 2. God bless you all. I'm gonna see you with another video. Wait until I publish the next video. God bless you all. Take care of yourself, and bye-bye.